There we are. We're pulling out little bits of clean water there, but it won't damage the water sieve. It'll just go straight through. Well, there we are. This will get our oxygen going again. There we go. We managed to catch all of this. Damn it, we haven't caught it out. Oh, it's because the pressure in here is so low. That's why we haven't caught it all. But this should actually be making them quite happy. Even though they're not eating very nice meals, they've got table salt on the table, and as a direct consequence of that, the meal is considered one grade better than it actually is. So even though they're not really having the best of times, it's still not terribly bad. Got so much stuff I need to do. But there we go, we've got a little hatching in there. Now the thing with an unpowered incubator, your duplicants won't lullaby the eggs, which means they won't hatch faster. Well, it's 3 AM and my internet connection is acting up, so I'll take it as a sign that I should go to bed. Good night, Aavak and chat. See you all. Take care, Deadfingers. Have a nice sleep, mate. Yep, you can use the sage hatch. Oh, actually, that's a good point. Dirt can be eaten by a sage hatch. That's a good point. I had forgotten about that. Let me just go and check that out. Sage hatch. Can they eat dirt? Polluted dirt, yeah. Slime. Dirt, yeah. So I suppose what you could do is if you use the pips with like a large pip farm with a huge like arbor tree orchard, then you would be producing massive quantities of dirt. That, on the flip side, though, if it's a domestic tree farm, then it's going to need polluted water, lots of it as well. But if it's a naturally planted one, probably using the pips to plant the acorns, then you could have a very, very large orchard. And yeah, you'd be able to turn dirt from the pips directly into coal. Yeah, that's a good point. Liking the look at this. Most Oni streams I've seen in the past have been near the start of the game. So good to see a slightly more developed base. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Crispy Cup. Very glad. We're starting to get there now. Starting to get there. We definitely need more food, though. Oh, dear Lord. I hope our dear sweet hatches will hurry up and breed many more of them. I can turn dirt into food. It's just a bit rough and disgusting to do. But in the pinch, I guess I can. Really don't like making mush bars, though. Oh, I don't like making mush bars. I could also make lice loaf, though. I suppose. Yeah, we could make lice loaf. Or mush fry. I mean, as long as you make mush fry, then they don't have the food poisoning chance. But if you make mush bars, then it's a bit rank. To be honest with you. So, your options here are berry sludge, which takes sleet wheat and bristleberry, we don't have. Nosh beans and water, we don't have. Lice loaf and water, 50 kilos. But it does increase the calories of meal lice. Or mush bar, which takes 75 kilos of dirt and 75 kilos of water and just gives you 800 calories of mush bar. But, it, basically turning dirt and water into food. I've got 10 tons of available water, but the problem is the moment I start making lice loaf, I'm using water to make it, and this water is not clean. Oh, never mind, it is. It has been sat there so long that all of the food poisoning germs have died. Oh, it's glorious. I like it. Wouldn't want to drink, use this stuff though, but oh well. Berry sludge is actually quite a nice food, but realistically on this map, the only way we're getting sleet wheat grain is if we're farming it, and that is a parch. You know what? I don't know if food poisoning just makes them go to the loo more or not. Have I got plans to check out Prison Architect? I have checked it out on stream and on my YouTube channel before. But it was a while ago now. Let me just have a look at food poisoning. Killed by gas, disinfectant. Okay, yeah, but what does it do? Has anyone got it? No. Could someone check what food poisoning does? No, cooking does not get rid of food poisoning. Turning mush bars into mush fry gets rid of the food poisoning chance of mush fry, but that's all. The inside is almost completely uncooked, despite the crunch on the outside. Deep fried, solidified mud slop. Whereas mush bar is mush bars are preferable to starvation, but only just barely. On the plus side, I don't think mush fry requires any additional water. You just cook it, and you increase the calories as a result. But okay, so food poisoning just means their bladder changed plus 200% per cycle. So yeah, they would pee so much more. But they're so slow as well. Well, I mean, not terrible. They wouldn't enjoy it, like, at all, but... Okay, I need to see why your morale is a bit messed up. Let's have a look at you. Low morale. Oh, right, okay, yeah, of course. Of course. That makes sense. Every now and then, you'll just go and get a bit of a... chill-out session on the massage table, because I haven't got enough morale for you yet. So that would not help it, I'm going to be honest. That would actually probably make it worse. It is what it is. Right. All of the hydrogen has been captured. Time to let the bloody stuff out. Let's go. Out you go. Let's get this hydrogen out of the base, and we can finally seal the base off properly. Ah, happy days. Finally caught all the stuff. It's been dancing around the base for far too long. And to let you go free. Go up, up, up and out. Go out, up, out. Leave. Don't come back. Thank you. tonk. Whoosh! Freedom! Seal her off before they decide to come back. There we go. You return to a cooking stream. Yeah, I can cook lice loaf. I definitely can. And I guess for now we will. Makes me feel bad. Bad for my dupes. Sorry, dupes. Pufflet prince egg, pip eggs, shine nymph eggs, draglet eggs. You basically get 100 grams of raw egg from that. You get 1,000 grams for a hatchling. 250 for a puff. And 1,000 grams for a pip. 2,000 grams for a fry egg? Yikes. That's actually kind of crazy. But then, to get a fry to lay requires that you feed them algae, so I suppose I see why. Yep, there's a way to tell the dupes what to eat. You go to consumables. You can tell them in here what they're allowed to eat and what they're not allowed to eat. Right. Let's go ahead and remove all of this. Okay, apparently I can't tell this one to be deconstructed. Deconstruct that. Remove the power. And as soon as this is set up, then everything should start working. Oh god. What am I doing to my poor dupes? What am I doing to my dupes? This is badness and sadness. The saddest of badness. That will soon kick in and stop this from flowing. We'll see it in a moment. Or maybe we won't. Actually, that has run out of available water to siphon, which is quite interesting. The water physics... Water quite often just acts like jelly in this game. I don't know why, but it does. Okay. So, with... technically, that will help us, I guess, but... Let's get this stuff done as well. I'm so sorry, my dupes. Please forgive. I do not do it out of cruelty. I hope. Let's have a look at the temperature in here. Yeah, the temperature is rising now because it can't escape in any way. So, as we bring in more heat from this, it just kind of settles. So we do need to get that temperature control built at some point, probably sooner rather than later. Either that or we'll bring this in. I'm gonna say thump. Down to about there. then I absolutely want to dig in and find out what that volcano is. Right, I would like pretty much this. Copy over to here and make this a 1. Oh, can I reach that? No, of course I can't. That would be far too easy. There we go. I'm sorry. Don't make that sound. It makes me feel sad. At least they have salt, so food does taste better. I mean, yeah, that is true. Don't worry, you can have barbecue soon. Yeah, temperature's starting to mess with these because the heat is bleeding in from here. When I had this all nicely insulated and separated off, it was a lot easier to control, but oh well. As far as our coal, we're doing amazingly well, and once we've got stone hatches, it's going to be even better. But I think the next thing for us would probably be to set up our farm for Dracos. How I'm going to do that, though, I don't know. Like, what shape it's going to take. Again, it's nice to take care of your animals, but yeah. One thing we can do is have the egg cracker available to crack any eggs that are like runovers. There we go. That's just dropping in there. Not that anyone is going to be happy with it, but you know, it's there at least, and you can eat and stuff and things. Right, now the problem here is that can only reach polluted water. This one can reach regular water. So we'll have to see. Now that one is still blocking it off though, so all of the available grey water is going straight in here. And continuing to be turned into oxygen. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. Do we have anything available up there? No, not really. I think we're probably going to need to hit the slime biome up here. Grab what we can relatively soon. Especially the gold amalgam. That'll be particularly important. We're going to need to set up some power also reasonably soon. That one isn't as big of a need because we're doing alright with the power that we've got. We're not a very power-hungry base yet. That will change, but for the time being, we're fairly low in terms of power requirements. Setting up a Draco Ranch will be a good move. How I'm going to set up a Draco Ranch? Possibly another setup along these lines. The verticality of a Draco Ranch is useful because it allows you to have a band of hydrogen at the top, yet still have some oxygen at the bottom, so your duplicant can breathe whilst grooming or shearing the Draco. So that's definitely a useful one. Having the if you want to get glossy Dracos, and we do, we absolutely want glossy Dracos. You want to have a bunch of mealwood growing in there. Now, Dracos will eat the live plants. They don't eat meal wood itself. If you just want free food, balm lilies are the way to go. But then you have to bathe them in chlorine for it to work. So you would want bleached stone with kind of a pit of chlorine and have the balm lilies growing in that pit. They don't eat a great deal of balm lily per cycle. So you can get away with a couple of plants, but balm lilies require a high temperature to survive. Now, on this map, that's not actually going to be too much of a problem. The lovely thing about balm lilies is they require 0 fertilization, even domestic. So once you've got the balm lilies there, you just leave it. The Dracos will eat the plant as it's growing. They produce phosphorite. They eventually die and produce meat. Whilst they're alive, they produce eggs. And also reed fiber, effectively. I'm going to have to quickly have a look at how much... I believe it's on the wiki for Oni, so give me a second. It should tell me how much of a balm lily they eat. They eat 17% of a balm lily per cycle. Okay. For the sake of calculation, let's say it's 20%. So they eat 1/5 of a balm lily every cycle. A domestic balm lily will grow 12 cycles. Yikes. So they'll eat an entire plant in 5 cycles. So realistically, you'd want 3 balm lilies per Draco that you're keeping. And it requires, the balm lily requires a temperature of 35 to 85 C to grow. Alright, we can do this. Over here, it's plenty hot enough. I could just have the Draco Ranch somewhere around here. Honestly, if I'd really thought about it, having the hatch farm over there as well would have been better, because this is the exit from the base. I may move the hatch farm as a consequence of that. But we're going to need to plan this out. Because we're going to want... I'll allow time to pass, but we're going to want a big kind of dip so that chlorine can gather in it. So, if we go with sandstone, let's say we had it over here for some reason. I go all the way over here. It's not like this. And then balm lilies all along. You can have sand, like bleached stone just sat in here. Generating off-gassing into chlorine. That shouldn't be too difficult to do. Now, like I said, 17% of a balm lily's growth every cycle. So each Draco needs 17% of a balm lily every day, and a balm lily takes 12 days, effectively, to grow. Now, in my Let's Play, I noticed that the Draco didn't eat that balm lily until it was like a 20% or maybe even 30% before it decided, yeah, I'm going to eat this. So I'm gonna say, rounding it up to 20%. So 5, you know, it gives us a little bit of extra room, and then adding it up to 15 rather than 12 cycles. I think that would be better for us, generally speaking. So 3 balm lilies should keep a Draco going each. We could even go for 4, just to be certain, but I think that's a bit excessive. We are going to want grow plots for the balm lilies. 1, 2, 3. Can have a space for... well, actually, another 3 there. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That gives us 4 Dracos. I could have a space for a bit of bleached stone. Sitting there. Sitting there. Now, bear in mind But this has to be a stable still. It has to be a fairly narrow structure, only 96 tiles. So we're going to have a quick look at that as well. Something like this would give us enough room. We could have door somewhere on there. Actually, let's shunt all of this to the side a bit. We need to get rid of that. Probably would be wise, yes. Well, how would we get across there as a result? We would not. So I'm going to need to sink this down a little bit. And then down here, I guess I could just have ladders to allow me to hop across. I mean, the Dracos can just walk up and down without too much issue. In fact, that might be good for us to do for them. How do we set it up over there? Just have a door there. Door here. Let's go ahead and grab a few more things. I have considered a smallish stable with a pasture, yes. But I could have a very small stable just for the sake of grooming and breeding purposes, and then a much larger area where I transfer the eggs and then just continue to groom them until it reaches some sort of limit. You can bottle gas, yeah, absolutely. You can use a gas. I actually forget what it's called. Let me go and have a quick look. Where are you? Oh yeah, a canister emptier and a canister filler. The issue with having stables like this is that, well, first and foremost, Dracos require more room than most animals do in the game. A lot more room, actually. But additionally, if you're just going to have them in a like a pasture stable, to be honest, that kind of leads towards the whole thing of just starvation. Like, you put them in the pasture and just leave them there to starve, which is not really where I want to go with it. I'd rather take care of the Dracos that we have actively, just have less of them, and farm the eggs. I know it's a little bit silly, but it just makes me feel better. We'll have the drop-off point there. We don't need a feeder. We'd have a station here, an incubator on the other side. And now the thing is with this room is because the Dracos can move around so much more, there's no easy way of me auto-scooping up any eggs, which is a pain in the bum. Grab this and copy it just so I can see what the tiles would be like. How wide is it? Pretty much 3 in every direction. We could potentially 1, 2, 3. I guess I could have multiple auto sweepers in here. Unfortunately, Sweepy won't pick up eggs. Alas. That would be an amazing use for Sweepy, but... Francie O'Rourke, thank you very much for the 18 months, mate. A year and a half. It's been a great time, Aavak. Thank you, mate. And, Ailavon, I think I got your name right. Thank you very much for the cheer as well. I don't know, that would be a lot of power just to occasionally sweep eggs. Though that it would also sweep all the phosphorus up, so maybe I should plan this for that. How tall is a balm lily? Let me have a quick look. How tall are you, balm lilies? Does it show me in any way? I'm going to assume it's 2 tiles tall. Could be wrong, though. I am going to assume that a balm lily is 2 tiles tall. But if it's like a reed fiber, it might be 3. Does anyone happen to know how tall a balm lily is? So I may need to make this deeper. Two tiles tall. Okay. With 2 tiles tall, that leaves me a space of 1 tile above. I think I'm going to try and make this a lot wider. We'll see how much wider I can make it, but we'll try. So, once again, down here. Donk. Donk. And 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if I had auto sweepers in here, how much space could I cover? First one. Over all the way to there. Okay, so I'm not going to be able to cover nearly as much space as I would like. That's a shame. That is a shame. Oh, actually, that being said, I could just pull the wall in by 2 and it still wouldn't be that far out. But this is already becoming a very large area. But I could pull the wall in by 2. So 3, 4, 5. So this one has to be cancelled. The only issue with this is if I've got this lower part with chlorine... Actually, no. The lower part with chlorine and the upper part with hydrogen should work reasonably well. It's just I'll be losing some hydrogen every time someone comes in here. Oh, thank you so much for the Twitch Prime, Ailavon. That was really kind of you. Diolch yn fawr. Alright, so we've got 3 tall. How many wide? 18. Okay, that's not too bad then. Because we've got 96 to make up. That shouldn't be too rough, actually. Especially considering we don't need the machines to be taking up that much space along the sides. We're going to have a lot of empty space in the middle, the way we could just have it just too tall. For the majority of it, actually. Just to have the central structure be a little bit taller than the others. Over there we'd need 3, but we could still do it. So we would have 2 of these, just for bleach stone. Get this one out of the way. We would want actual airlocks for this.